When Taylor Swift sings in The Archer, all of my enemies started out friends. She wasn't kidding because what do you mean? What do you mean? Like, that's supposed to be her best friend. What do you mean?
I have so many questions about what is happening between Blake Lively and Taylor Swift. Number one, how low can you go? This is supposed to be one of your best friends, and you were trying to use threatening tactics against her. This also comes after text messages were released that Blake Lively seemed to think that she was queen. She was queen and she had her dragons, Taylor Swift being one of them. And I just want to know who the hell she thinks she is.
You won't believe what's going down this week. Yet another wild twist in the Blake Lively lawsuit saga. And yep, Taylor Swift's name just keeps popping up. But this time, her dad is stepping in. He's seriously fed up and doing everything he can to drag his daughter out of this legal circus. Let's break it down. We've got Taylor's dad suddenly right in the middle of this legal storm while Blake and Justin's fight is still raging on. And sure, Taylor might have been officially dropped from the legal mess, but trust, it's not that simple. This exit is messy. So let's rewind to how this whole drama kicked off. It all blew up back in December 2024 when Blake Lively threw down a lawsuit against Justin Baldoni. And from that point, it's been straight chaos. Blake accused Justin of straight-up harassment and claimed the whole vibe on the set of It Ends With Us was super toxic. She said there were serious boundary-crossing moments and some behavior that just wasn't cool at all. But Justin didn't stay quiet. Nah, he came back swinging. He launched a jaw-dropping $400 million defamation countersuit aimed not just at Blake, but also her husband Ryan Reynolds and their publicist Leslie Sloan. He says they tried to smear his name and destroy his career. Now here's where it gets really juicy. Taylor Swift suddenly gets dragged into it. Justin's legal squad tried to subpoena her. They claimed Blake used her close friendships with Taylor and Ryan to pressure Justin into accepting rewrites to the film script. And to back it up, they pointed to a text from Blake where she called Taylor and Ryan her dragons, who protect her during drama, implying they helped strong-arm Justin. Taylor's camp clapped back fast. They were crystal clear. Taylor had zero say in the movie's casting, creative direction, or production. All she did was license her song, My Tears Ricochet, for the soundtrack, just like 19 other artists did. They said she didn't even watch the movie until weeks after it came out. Her team said it loud. This was just a cheap shot to use her name for clout and drama. But hold up, it gets even messier. Justin's team then claimed they had dirt showing Blake threatened to leak personal texts between her and Taylor if Taylor didn't publicly back her up. That's right, they said Blake tried to corner Taylor into making a statement in her favor. Justin's lawyer went all in, telling the judge he had serious tea from someone close to Taylor. In a letter filed with the court, Justin's attorney said, "On February 14th, 2025, I got a voicemail from a person very closely linked to Taylor Swift. I called them back that same day. Out of respect, I'm not naming them right now, but I'll spill if the court tells me to." He went on to say the call lasted about an hour, and the person told him that Taylor's attorney, J. Douglas Baldridge, from Venable LLP, had gotten a phone call from Blake's lawyer, Michael Gottlieb. The message? On Blake's behalf, Gottlieb asked Taylor to post something online supporting Blake since she skipped the Super Bowl that year. And if Taylor didn't? Ms. Lively would release 10 years of private texts with Ms. Swift. It didn't stop there. The source said Taylor's attorney accused Blake's team of straight-up extortion and hung up. Even crazier, this same source said Blake had asked Taylor months earlier to delete their message history. The lawyer says he got connected to this insider through a mutual friend who claimed the source really wanted to talk. And now it's all part of the official court drama. Since that first call on February 14th, there have been multiple follow-ups between Justin's legal team and the same source. On one of those later calls, the source claimed that Taylor's lawyer, Mr. Baldridge, had sent a written message to Blake's lawyer, Mr. Gottlieb, basically confirming what went down during their phone call. Justin's camp wasn't playing. They slapped a subpoena on Venable LLP to get their hands on that letter. The attorney even filed a declaration under penalty of perjury swearing everything he said was real. And now the biggest twist? It turns out it was Scott Swift, Taylor's own dad, who went to Justin Baldoni's team with this bombshell information. Page 6 reported that Scott was desperate to keep his daughter out of this messy legal drama, so he stepped up and shared everything, voluntarily, as part of a private deal. In return, Baldoni's team agreed to back off and drop the subpoena for Taylor. An insider spilled the tea to the Daily Mail, saying Scott didn't want Taylor's name dragged any deeper into the fire. He just wanted her protected. And it worked! Despite months of finger-pointing over those alleged threats, the judge ended up ruling that the whole thing was inadmissible. Basically, the judge said all that drama was improper and irrelevant to the case. So, just like that, Baldoni dropped his subpoena against Taylor in a move that shocked everyone, especially since his lawyer had been pushing the narrative that Taylor was used to pressure Justin during the filming of It Ends With Us. Let's be real, Justin's team wanted Taylor's involvement exposed, but when Scott Swift personally stepped in and handed over the very information they were hunting for, the whole game changed. No need for court orders or dragging Taylor in, her dad beat them to the punch. It was straight up a dad protecting his daughter moment. Deadline later confirmed that Baldoni, both the star and director of the film, yanked the paperwork that would have forced Taylor to speak on what she knew about the behind-the-scenes clash between Blake and Wayfair Studios co-founder Justin Baldoni. Why? Because the critical info Justin's lawyer Brian Friedman was chasing had already been delivered. No more mystery. But here's the thing. Even if Taylor's in the legal clear, the emotional fallout is real. This entire mess has wrecked friendships behind the scenes. There are whispers that Taylor's been slowly pulling away from Blake over the drama. And get this, Travis Kelce, Taylor's boyfriend, unfollowed Ryan Reynolds on social media. That's no coincidence. That's a straight-up sign. We're not cool anymore. It's honestly heartbreaking when you think about it. These were tight bonds, years of friendship. And now? Ice cold. The fact that Scott Swift himself got involved and told Justin's team that Blake allegedly threatened Taylor, told her to delete texts, and tried to force her into making a public statement? That speaks volumes. No way everything's chill after that. With the trial still coming in 2026, this is far from over, and the drama behind the scenes might end up being just as explosive as the court case itself. This whole situation is just wild. Like, what was Blake even thinking trying to cross Taylor Swift? Taylor's not some rookie in the game. She's powerful, she's rich, and her legal team? Unshakable. She's built her brand too carefully to let any nonsense slide. She knows every move she makes is watched under a microscope, and one wrong step could lead to a PR disaster. So of course, she's not taking chances. She's staying far away from this mess. Meanwhile, Blake? Her image is taking major damage. Like, real talk. She's getting canceled in real time. Sure, she still has supporters, but the court of public opinion ain't exactly on her side right now. The vibe online? People are raising eyebrows, especially with those claims that she tried to force Taylor into backing her up publicly. That's just not a good look. It's actually sad when you think about it. Blake and Taylor used to be tight. Years of friendship gone in a flash, all over this legal storm. Fans are seriously heartbroken watching it all crash and burn. But when you hear what's allegedly been going on behind the scenes, it's kind of hard to stay neutral. Now, while Taylor's been dodging the fallout, Blake's been fighting hard behind the scenes. She's pushing to get this whole $400 million lawsuit tossed, and she's not alone. Advocacy groups are now stepping into the spotlight, backing her up and saying this lawsuit could destroy hard-won protections for people who speak out against harassment and misconduct. According to the LA Times, equal rights advocates, a big-name legal nonprofit based in San Francisco, filed an amicus brief urging the court to support Blake's motion. They're defending California's new free speech law that was made to protect people brave enough to speak out. And it's not just them. A former federal worker named Elise Dorsey, who says she was sued after speaking out about harassment, also submitted a letter. She claims this law could have saved her from a brutal, years-long legal nightmare. And that's not all. More legal briefs are coming from groups like Child USA and Sanctuary for Families. They're standing behind Blake and pushing for stronger protections for people who come forward with serious allegations. Blake's entire legal strategy is based on California Civil Code Section 47.1, part of Assembly Bill 933 passed in 2023. In March, she filed a motion using that law to get Justin's massive countersuit thrown out. She says his case is nothing more than retaliation, that she's being punished for speaking up. But Justin's team? They're coming back hard. They say Blake made it all up and that the law she's hiding behind is totally unconstitutional. His lawyers claim this new rule is too extreme, that it could stop people from standing up for themselves in court, especially if they've been falsely accused. So now it all comes down to this, the first real test of this new California law. Will the judge side with Blake and say people have a right to speak out without being hit with huge lawsuits? Or will Justin's team convince the court that this law goes too far? This is turning into more than just Hollywood drama. It could set the tone for future free speech and harassment cases. And let's not forget, this all started with 2 A-listers and a film. But now, it's blown up into a courtroom war with major legal and social consequences. So what do you think? Do you believe Blake's trying to stand up for what's right? Or is Taylor keeping her distance for a reason? And how do you feel about her dad jumping into the middle of all this and handing over details to Justin's legal team? Let me know in the comments. I seriously need to hear your take on this insane situation. Thanks for watching, love y'all so much, and I'll catch you in the next video. Bye!